Good evening, everyone. This is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Monday, August 4th, 2014. And this is brought to you by Triton Wave Consulting, home of the Triton Waves. The Triton Waves are early warning market timing indicators used in all time frames in all markets worldwide. All right, I hope you're enjoying the weekend. This is a little bit before the opening on Sunday for the Globex trading for the S&P. This is a daily chart of, again, ES space pound F on E signal. All right, so let's take a look and see what's going on here this past week. Now, I had mentioned that on a lower time frame chart, which I will show you in a minute, I got a sell signal right in here. That turned out to be a fantastic call. Right in here, and I went short last Thursday and Friday, and we got this week. Okay, so to recap some of the lines here that I showed you last week, we have broken. This is the 21 exponential moving average on the daily ES, and this is the 55. Now the 21 and the 55 have not crossed. They have, however, crossed on smaller time frame charts. The last time they crossed and dipped a little bit, you notice that on the larger frame daily charts, they don't have to cross to make these huge plunges of 1844 down to the 144 line of 1740. That was 104 points the last time that went down. The next time was 1890, almost to the 144 of 1804. That's 85-point move. And so far right now we are 1985 with a low of 1910, so that's a 75-point move. All right, the way this is looking, the way this is descending down, the way the waves are descending, even actually you can't really tell anything on T4 or T3, but T2 is descending very slightly, but mostly this is the major trading wave for the daily, is that is just moving down. All right, so the trade with the market is on the downside. All right, so this broke the 21. This is two closes. This is two closes, 1 and 2 below the 21. This is 2 closes below the 55. So at a minimum, we are now selling for 1917 was the close, and with a little bit of 45 minutes after the market on Friday, I think it closed at 1918.50, and it added another 150 points to the downside. I am looking for Monday or Tuesday for 1883.50 to be hit right here, and this is the 144. Okay, beyond that, we may have a little bit of a bounce in there. To me, the way I'm looking at it, this is a shorting opportunity, and let me show you why. Let's look at this on the 144. Give me a minute while this populates a little bit. Come on. Slow Sunday. All right. On the 144, okay, here we go. So on the 144, this takes us all the way back to in March of this year. Is that this year? March of this year. That was the last time this minor Triton wave, this dark gray line here, or dark blue or light blue, was pierced to the upside. Okay, came down and tested it, and then from there on, it was only testing the 144. So it was like way up there. Finally, again in the middle of July, came down and tested it. And on Monday last week, 10 days ago, it's 5 days ago, or 8 days ago and 5 days ago, it just plunged through it. So what I was looking for on Friday was some kind of ideally, um, I was looking for it to come back up into this area, into the 55, but I was looking at it and looking at it, and I watched the 21-minute Globex price and the 13-minute and the 987. They all started rolling over, and I repositioned myself on the downside, right about in here. So we'll see what happens on Monday. What I'm looking at right now on the 144 is this looks like a retest of a test, not a retest, a test of 1875 right in here. All right, let's look at some smaller time frame charts. Let's look at the 55, or actually I like the 34. 34 is a good chart to look at. And historically, I look to see which time frame suits the wave. So this is back in March. Got a nice move down here when this moved down below zero, and then again when it moved above zero, you got this whole move up here. So the time frame that seems to be working in this environment right now is the 34. Okay, so let's see where we are. You can see the moves. You can see the moves here in June being, well, it's not exactly a straight line, but in this area, that's a short. This is a long here. When it starts curving up a little bit, you're out of there. Doesn't matter what anything is doing down here. Just take your profit. Or you can draw a trend line down here. Where it breaks the trend line, you're out. But you can't get in until this is above zero here, unless you're playing, like a 144 tick chart. You can mess around with this, and it doesn't matter what any of these are doing. Okay, so this is a nice move up here. Actually, an arrow would probably be a little bit better here until this comes in here. Bing. This is a short, even though it went against you about 10 points on an early rush, and that was kind of like maybe you made a point, maybe you lost a point, because it went back up here. All right, let's continue along this chart here to see where we are currently. All right, let's bing, 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 bing. Okay, so when I saw this below zero, this is a 34 minute, so this is about last on the 25th of July, and I like this move. I got in here, and then I bailed right about here. Went a little bit further, but you can't get greedy about that stuff. Came up and it hit the 55, and that's what I saw on this shorter time frame chart. The 55 right in here, and then the other indicators that I watched, like the advanced decline line, the ticks, they started getting weak when it came up here, and I just got back in. So far I've got a little bit, like a little bit of profit, but we're in them, and we'll see what happens Monday and Tuesday. We look at an even smaller time frame chart. Let's take a look at the 987 and see how that works out. Now this whole thing is let me section off one here. Get rid of that. Okay, so this is what Friday looked like, and these are just like nice and easy trades. If you're an early riser, then you got this chunk in here, right here. This happens at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't get up that early. And when it opened at 8:30. When cash trading opened at 8:30, it just continued up. It kind of stutter stepped a little bit. It never got up to the major Triton wave. It just got kind of flirted with the minor one, and then when it went down here, that's a good exit point. You just ride it, ride it, ride it. Bing, you're in. Bing, you're out. So I actually got back in the market right in there. And I don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. I don't know how this is going to open, but I don't like it. And let me go back to the daily, and I'll show you why. Um, okay, on the daily, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Let me get rid of those lines here. This line. Okay, so on a daily chart, if you're looking all the way back to, let me see, does this take you back this far? Yes. Okay. Let's draw a little trend line here from September 30th, 2011, all the way up to here. So, whoops. So we're basically touching the, hang on 1 second. Okay, so this is, what did I say, September 2011. All right, comes down here. It hits the minor Triton wave right here. Doesn't quite get down to the trend line. Does get down to the trend line in the minor wave. So, there's a small tolerance in there between where it's about to hit either the trend line or the minor wave. I think the attention is toward the minor wave. The trend line just builds itself after that. And then we come all the way out to here, and if we extend this a little bit, we are looking at. That's why I say my first target is the. Let's blow this up a little bit. My first target is right here at the 144 at 1883, and that could happen Monday. And then we may have a little bit of a bounce. Expect a little bounce, and everybody's, if you're lucky enough, you get it back up to the 55, and you can reshort this. If not, this could actually just come down like this did. You get a little bit of a retrace, but then you go down and you test this minor Triton wave. Okay, still in an uptrend, but you just got hit for like 200 S&P points, which is huge. But the market has to take a break here somewhere. All right, if we draw this back out again, and we look to see where the, I don't even know where that line is. Hang on. Maybe I don't have enough data in here to. We need a lot of data to fill in these algorithms. Okay, so there it is. So there's a major Triton wave, and there's no way that this is going to happen in the short term. In the short term, I'm looking for this trend line right here in concert with the minor Triton wave. The major Triton wave is way, way off in the distance, and it also parallels what happened in June of 12. If you draw a line across here, June of, where are we here? Well, it's nah. Okay, if you draw that line here, this is a line of tops that happened in March of 12 and September of 12, and that is the line where in an extreme blowout, this is going to happen, but don't go chasing puts. you make a happy run down to 1768. We'll take another look at it and see where we are. All right, let's get rid of these lines here. All right, let's take a quick look at gold. Gold is up $12 in defensive response of what happened with the S&P. It is still floundering between, which I made note of last week, between the major and the minor wave. Bing, bing. This is a daily chart, so these in between these little lines here are some really broad swings, 20 and 30 points, sometimes 40 points. And we can take a look at that. Let's look at the 21. Let's look at the 21 Globex price for gold, and there are some really. Actually, let's look at the 55. Let's see what that. Nope. 34. Nope. We have to stick with the 21. Let's look at the 13. I don't like the blip right here. It's not consistent. Okay, here we are. So you can see from back here. This is a move below. This is like a monster move. This is like a 1340 down to the major Triton wave of whatever that was, 1310. Went sideways a little bit, couldn't get going. Dropped again. Okay, on the way up, right here, you had this move is about a 30-point move. All right, and again, I've explained this in other videos. When something goes, if you're in this long and something goes in your favor by a monster 30 points, just get out. There's like, don't get greedy. Don't even take half off. Just get out. Okay, so you're waiting for another move down on a smaller time frame chart, on a tick chart that's about a 377. You can see this move really quickly by itself and this move really distinctly by itself. Okay, so then we're moving down here. Let's gotta get rid of this so I can move it forward. And if you don't trust the first wave, then you wait for a clear signal in the second wave, which is right in here, which is about 1308. And it drags you, and even if you wait until the wave tells you to get back in, 1294, and then back on the upside and the downside. And this latest one took you from 1299 down to right in here. Actually, let's look at a smaller time frame chart because you can actually see this really nicely. How this. Okay, so and that last move that I showed you, it looked like you got back in here, but if you're looking at a 377 tick chart, this is the wave T2 right here. Yeah. Wave T2, and you're in, and this is the minor wave kissing the major wave and then rolling back over. This is the 21 crossing under the 55. Crossing under the minor wave as it retreats from the major wave. This is just like such a classic entrance. And this is about 307. This brings you right down here to about 280, 1280, 1307. Sorry, not 307. This brings you down to about 1284 right here. Brings you up here to the minor wave, and in between the major and the minor, and then it starts failing. When it starts failing, you're out. So it looks like this, if you look at the longer waves and you see what happened here, when Triton wave 4, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all Triton waves. Okay, when this goes above 0, you get this nice push up here. And when it goes below 0, you get this right here. You get this nice push down here. This is now trickling its head above 0. I would not be surprised if this downtrend on the T1 just kind of turns around and starts heading back up because this is above zero and this is above zero, and the longer the wave pattern, the more powerful it is. Okay, let's look at some stocks really quickly. Baidu had a sell signal here down right in here on the daily at about 180 down to the minor Triton wave of 138. And then it kind of stutter stepped in there, and then it started taking off. You can see this in a lower time frame chart. This looks like it wants to come back to the 21, which is about 203. It might be worth a play on a like a 377 tick chart or a 5 minute chart or a 13-minute chart. But I think the market's going down, so the best plays are the ones that are to the downside. Let's look at this on a 21, or let's see what I have up here. Okay, so this was the earnings play on Baidu, and this gave you a signal actually all the way back in July 21st, right in here. And where were we? Right in here, and then confirmed in here. This is a little fudgy. So you go to the longer term ones right here. This is very clearly above zero right in here. It means if you're going for a conservative move on this, it means you're gonna lose the bottom 10 points. But if you want to play the tick charts on that, you go for it. But this is one that you don't have to worry about. This is just clearly rising above zero day by this. Each one of these is one day, and this clearly rises above. And then you got the surprise earnings report that took it all the way up to 320. So nice little move here. Use shorter time frame. Now this is very clearly above zero. This is a little waffly, so you want to go to this one on an out move right in here. You don't really want to short this until T3, one of the longer waves, comes down. And so that was possibly a short of 220 down to 212 or 210. It looks like this wants to come down because now this is T4 is fully below zero, T5 is halfway below. That hasn't happened since July when this push came all the way up here. So we're looking at this. This is possibly, the market comes down, this could push down to 197. So before it resumes its uptrend, I think it has a little more to go on the downside. All right, right here I'm looking at Netflix on the daily. I don't really care for the way this looks. I'm looking at a wave pattern on T1, Triton wave 1, and with a matching or higher high on the cash price, the wave did not make it above zero. And even this was, and with this move above zero, I'm sorry, to two, I don't know what it was, 440. T1 was above zero, T2 was above zero. On this next move, this higher high, this was below zero, this was below zero, and even T2 is halfway below zero, and T3 is descending. So I'm looking for a little pushback on Netflix, and we can take a look at. Let's look at the 21. Let me see, 13, 21. Let's look and see what the 21 looks like. I don't like the 21 here. I don't like the 13. Let's see what the 50. Oh, whoops. We have to change this to a day only. Here we go. All right. This is what I'm looking at in the 55s. Now, this is not a 2-week play. This is like, yep, you can't go out to August expirations on these, because each one of these hash marks. Each one of these hash marks is 1 week, so you can't look at this and think that it's going to happen in 1 or 2 days. because this is an early warning system. These Triton waves are early warning systems. This has gone below zero here, followed on T2 below zero. Actually, it gave you a little heads up here. T1, T2, T3. I'm looking at a possibility of a market sell-off with 374 as a target on Netflix. That's how I'm looking at it. Now, if you're buying options, if you're shorting the stock, that's fine. There's no time frame in it. If you're buying options, go out to September. That'll give you we got 2 weeks left in August. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll give you this length of time on these graphs. There's plenty of time for this to happen. So look for September. It's a really wild market. So I don't think you have to go delta 70s. You can go like 40s, delta 40s or 50s would be fine. Okay, on Tesla, I did have these. When it started to go above zero, I was a little bit cautious, thinking that it would roll back over again, but it didn't. And I did take a hit on that, and I covered, and good thing, because it just, after the earnings, it just like, that's what happened, and then that's what happened, and then that's what happened. And I really didn't want to be in it. I'm glad I'm out of it. So I took a little bit of a hit, but more than made it back on the SPYs. So turned out to be smart not to fight these waves, because these waves told you something was coming up, and it actually looks like it just wants to trend up. I don't know where it's going. It may head up here, or as it's when it looks like it's heading up like this, it may just come down. I'm basically, when I'm playing these, it's on a much shorter time frame. I'm looking at like a 5 minute doesn't really do it. Let's look at the 377. I'm just doing this on a daily basis here. Let's look at the 144. And I'm not getting much. It's distorted by the earnings play here, so you really can't see very much going on here. There are a couple. Whoops. Sorry. There are a couple plays in here that are worth like 3 or 4 points, but Tesla I'm staying away from right now, actually. Okay, last one. Let's take a look at Google here. Chugel. Actually, Chugel is Baidu. This is the real Google. This started giving sell signals on the 13-minute chart back at about 6:05, and then it picked up. T1 went below zero, T2 went below zero, and now, T2, T3, and T4. So that is in a sell mode. It dropped below on the 13-minute. It dropped below the major Triton wave, and the 21 and 55 went below the major. So any move back up to 577, 580 area is a short. And let's just confirm that on the daily chart. Let's just move this out right here. Okay, the daily chart is showing, this is like one, okay, T1 is below zero, T2 is like 1 or 2 days away. That's good enough for me. So I'm looking at, see where this line of bottoms, this line of lows is right in here at about 505, right here. If you draw it across here, this is an ascending line. You can expect that to come up to here. If the market continues to go down, I'm looking at this breaking 560 and possibly coming down to 503. This is on a move that's similar to this. Okay, make note. When this was making its highs or interim highs, see where the wave was above zero. It came up and matched the highs. Nowhere near. This is still below zero, and this was above zero, and now is most of the way below zero. So, all right, that's all I have. Good luck trading. I hope you have a great week and the rest of the weekend. If you want to become a member of the of Triton Wave Consulting, I'll leave this up for you to read, and you can get in touch with me at tritonwaveguy@gmail.com right here, and you can read about what Brian McGowan said about the Triton waves. Okay, and I'm now actually using this for gold and the ES. All right, have a great day trading, and I will see you at the next update.